Shalom, I'm back and I'm covered in dirt. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but this ugly shirt is covered in ugly dirt. Well, I think the dirt looks better than the shirt, but hey, that's a whole other story. And I am driving home from work. It's been a 10-hour day, not counting drive times from work to home to work, which puts me at roughly 12, because I was a little over 10 hours today, about 10 and a half, I think. So yeah, roughly 12-hour day if you count drive times from home and back. Shouldn't we get paid for that? I mean, don't you think? If you're an hourly employee, somebody let me know what you think. Shouldn't we be compensated for drive times to get to the job that they're paying us to do? Because, I mean, we have to get there. So shouldn't we? Anyway, that's a question for somebody else to answer, because I don't know. It's hot in this vehicle. I turned the air down a little bit so the fan wasn't blasting on the camera, because the camera or the phone is right above one of the air vents. It's starting to cool off. So the reason I'm covered in dirt, I was washing the dump truck I've been driving. Now the company I'm working for has a couple of day cab semis that pull dump trailers and flatbeds. They have a couple of dump trucks, which is what I'm driving currently. One of their day cabs is broke down and in the shop. That's the truck I'm supposed to be driving, but until it comes back from the shop, I won't be, because I have a Class A CDL, which qualifies me to drive semi-trucks. If you watch my older videos, you probably know that. But yeah, semi-trucks, dump trailers, I did it a couple of times when I was applying for the job to show them I knew what I was doing, and one of the trucks was not broke down. And the dump truck I've been driving it's just a typical triaxle. You see, if I'm about 21 tons, I'm real heavy. That's, yeah, my limit there, which I talked about that yesterday, I believe. But what I wanted to talk about today is, I had a comment, I believe it was on yesterday's video, somebody saying they think we're in end times according to the Bible. End of days, as it would be. And I'm going to respectfully disagree with that for several reasons. The most obvious reason to me personally of why I don't think we're in end times right now is because yesterday I walked into Costco. I bought things, I left. There was no mark on my forehead or hand, as according to Revelation, there will be a mark either on your hand or your forehead, and you will not be able to buy or sell without this mark. It's the mark of the beast. That's what that is. And that's one obvious reason to me that we're not there. Wars, rumors of wars, that is also biblical. And yeah, we are seeing that, but pretty much every generation throughout history has seen that. Every generation going back. I mean, you got to think back to people of the Great Depression, probably thought they were in end times. World War II, World War I, they all probably thought that too. We're not there yet. We haven't quite popped off World War III yet, which we're working at it. Definitely, as a nation, under a corrupt, ignorant government, outright tyrannical government, yeah, we are working on World War III. World War III probably will involve nuclear weapons. And if you live in any kind of a major city or near a major city, I suggest you don't do that no more. That's bad for you. For obvious reasons, but also if and when World War III happens and nuclear weapons start flying, you don't want to be near any of these cities, because those are going to be targets, primary targets. Secondary targets are going to be things like, because they're not all in cities, but infrastructure type things, fuel refineries that are outside of cities but close to them, power grids, junction stations. These are going to be targets. So you can't really prepare yourself for a nuclear I mean, you can if you're rich enough to buy a fallout shelter, you stock it with 30, 40 years worth of food, blah, 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 blah. Most people aren't. So most people cannot just prepare for nuclear warfare. So it is what it is. My preparation in that is I trust in Yah to tell me to get the F out when it's time to get the F out. Get out of the way, squirrel. I was driving to work this morning about 4-something-ish a.m. and a red fox was standing in the middle of the road. I had to stop and wait for him to decide which way to go. Haven't seen one in a while. Used to see him around here all the time, but it's been a while. Oh, that light's changing yellow. I gotta punch it. You didn't see that. Well, yep, 30 miles an hour, doing 50 and a 30. Let's not do that. Yeah, you didn't see that. Okay. So yeah, a couple other things makes me think we're not quite in end times is the temple hasn't been rebuilt. That's one of the things in Revelation. The temple has to be rebuilt. There has to be, if you read 2 Thessalonians, I forget which chapter and verse. I'll explain that in a minute. I forget what chapter and verse, 2 Thessalonians, it's in there. The coming of the lawless one. The Antichrist is the lawless one. And that's the sign of the beast. And the lawless one is the workings of Satan, which is, yeah, we're not there yet. We don't, I mean, you could claim that the lawless one is lurking about, but I haven't seen it yet. The lawless one will be very obvious, the Antichrist, very obvious, because he will place himself, and I'm assuming gender here, so that's it. Yeah, never mind. I'm assuming gender. He will place himself above Elohim, above God. He will try to say that he is God, Elohim, and no. Do not be deceived. Do not be deceived. Many Christians, and probably many Jewish people, will be deceived by this because they don't read the whole book. It's pretty obvious if you read the book from page 1 to Revelation 22. I forget what page number that is in my particular Bible. If you read the whole book and highlighted every single spot in the book where it says a law forever throughout your generations, you would definitely have the ability to not be deceived. But unfortunately, many Christians have fallen under the deception of false teachings, precisely saying you don't have to follow God's law. But God said a law forever. I mean, we're still here, right? Forever still, we haven't reached forever yet. I haven't seen forever on my calendar. It's not marked, crossed off. There's no X there. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure we still have to do that. Now, don't take my word for it. Go read it. If you agree, awesome. Do the things, as Pastor Bear would say. But if you don't agree with it, that's up to you. It's free will. We all have a choice. Following the law does not make you anti-Yeshua or anti-Jesus. You still follow him by following the law, because when you read the law and you have a great understanding of the law because you study it, and when you start to read the words of Messiah, then a lot of things start making a lot more sense. Let's just put it that way. So don't take my word for it, read it. But again, I just don't think we're in end times, or even, maybe, I don't know. One of the people I follow said he thinks we're knocking at the door. And yeah, maybe. But I'm still driving a vehicle down a road. I don't have, marauders running about. I don't see any houses burning. Everybody's still coming to and from work. My grocery store still has food, albeit very expensive and a lot less than what they used to have. We're not there. Not yet. We'll get there, though. Maybe in my lifetime, maybe not. But we'll get there. It will happen. So that being said, The reason I don't ever remember verses is because I don't read the numbers of the verse when I'm reading my Bible. I said I'd get into that, so there it is. That's why. I don't ever read the numbers of the verses. I read the words, not the numbers. And that's why I never remember verse numbers. I could tell you chapters like Matthew chapter 7. You can go there and see that our Messiah, Yeshua, or Jesus if you prefer, he said that, "Get away from me, I never knew you who work lawlessness." Yeah, that's a big one. I do remember 1 John 3:4 because a certain YouTuber has beat it into my head by repeating it in every video for like 5 years. But that's okay. It's a good one to know. I know Luke 1 verse 6, that's the definition of righteousness. One of many that you can find throughout the Bible, but that's the definition of righteousness, the easiest one to remember and find. I know Numbers 15, that's where you're going to find why you should be wearing tzitzit. I don't know if you can see that, but there it is, tzitzit. Leviticus 11, that's going to be your food laws that have never been changed. And when you argue that point, go read those portions that you're arguing about. There's several of them. One of them's about washing hands, and one of them's about people, etc., etc., etc. And even if he made all foods clean, as some of these Bibles say, he made all foods clean, and then they put that in parentheses under the verse, which is adding to and taking away from the Bible, Revelation 22, somewhere in there. Don't do that. It's also in Deuteronomy, at the very end of Deuteronomy, which is the Torah. You don't do that. You don't add things to the Bible. You don't take things away from the Bible. But somebody decided they were going to put parentheses in there and tell you all foods are clean. Okay, I'll agree with that. I'm gonna make this point. All foods are clean. Yes, they are. But was what is food ever changed? Go read it. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. I probably won't be making a video tomorrow. I got family coming over. I got the day off because lack of work. The job I'm doing, we had quite a bit of rain over the last, I don't know, several weeks, and just a couple of days ago as well, and it just slowed everything down. So I got a day off. Hey, works for me. I could use an extra day off. I got some things I got to do around the house anyway. So I probably won't be making a video until Monday-ish. So I hope everyone has a very blessed Sabbath, has a very good weekend, good rest of your week for everyone who has to work on Fridays. And I am going to shut up now. Wow, this is already 13 minutes long. Hey, I'm almost halfway. No, I'm about a quarter of the way home. All right, I'm going to shut up and put on some music. Shalom. See you later.